So yeah, as discussed in the previous video, or one of the previous videos where I reviewed the Upbeats with the 60 horsepower or 60 PS engine, I did mention that I was had on order a 90 horsepower version, and that was going to be my car. And yeah, I've got it now. I've had it for a few days. I've done a few trips in it, back roads, motorway, that kind of thing, and yeah, absolutely the difference in power is just night and day. It's just a much more usable car, but nonetheless still quite safe, obviously. I mean, 90-ish horsepower in a small car this does feel like a decent bit of power, and 0 to 60 in 9.9 seconds is not bad, considering it's not professing to be or pretending to be like the Up GTI, which I believe is coming out next year. I mean, when that car comes out, I think it's going to have 120 or 130-ish horsepower, and that's probably going to do 0 to, I would imagine that'll do 0 to 60 in like 7 point something seconds. So that'll be a proper little junior hot hatch, in line with the Twingo RS, I would imagine. You know, the Twingo RS, the 133, was a really sort of niche car, but it was really well regarded. A similar sort of story with the Lupo GTI, that is a couple of generations. The Lupo is a couple of generations before the Up. You know, I think that's something that Volkswagen keep trying to get into, and then eventually they've hit the nail on the head with the Up, you know, because the Lupo was never really that popular. It just seemed like it was like not quite as good as a Polo and not quite as good as a Golf kind of situation, and people didn't really buy into it despite its cult status, especially the GTI version. And then of course they had the Fox for a while, but that was quite a short-lived sort of city car variant, and there was certainly never anything even like, I don't think there was ever even anything even resembling a sporty version of that. Back to this car, it handles well, it goes where you point it, the traction goes down, the power goes down quite quickly. Now, my previous car before this was a Fabia VRS, which is essentially the same idea as the Polo GTI or the Seat Leon Cupra, not the Seat Leon, the Seat Ibiza Cupra. Now, that car was a hot hatch. That was a real hot hatch. You know, that was like 0 to 60 in just above 7 seconds. It had 180 horsepower. It had bags and bags of torque. But this car is comparable, funnily enough. I mean, it's comparable in the fun factor. You get good fun out of this car. You can wind it round these back roads, and it can hold its own at 60 miles an hour, because that's the speed limit. It can hold its own at 60 miles an hour. You can tuck it into the corner at 60, and it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere. It doesn't understeer or oversteer. You know, it goes where it's designed to go. The gearbox in this one is different from the gearbox in the 60 horsepower version. The gearbox in this one comes out of the Polo, where, as far as I understand it, the gearbox in the previous one, in the 60 horsepower, is for the Up, and only for the Up. So I don't know what odds that makes, but it might have a difference in terms of the ratios, and that might be where you're getting some of the added power from. And I mean, the thing is, for the sake of 30 horsepower, you're getting about 5 seconds faster in the 0 to 60. So it's the little, I mean, it's got a turbo, and the turbo definitely, you can feel it, you can hear it, it's making all the difference. This car, I purchased this car from John Clark Specialist Cars, an official Volkswagen dealership. I got this from the Kirkcaldy branch from a guy called Thomas, and he was extremely helpful. He price matched me this car from a different garage. I got a garage down south that was offering me the car for cheaper than he was, and I says, well look, I'll just travel down and get it there, sort of situation. And he price matched me, which definitely saved me a great deal of trouble going down south to pick up a car. Not only 60 horsepower up beats or beats up in the sort of interim whilst I was waiting on this being delivered, and that isn't something he had to do. It was just good customer service. It's as simple as that. And I would definitely look to change this car. I'd definitely go back to that garage, and I'd definitely be looking to speak to Thomas. I'm just going to pass this car just now, and you'll see that I can just get past. Like, the power's just there. I'm just passing, no problem. I mean, those guys are doing 40 or 50 miles an hour. I'm passing them just doing 60-ish. You know, no problem. The car doesn't feel dangerous doing that. The 60 horsepower car did feel a little bit underpowered, and it felt a little bit like I'm taking my life in my hands if I go on the wrong side of the road here. But this car definitely gives you a lot more confidence. It's like it's got a perfect amount of power for everyday use. If it had more power, you'd probably not get the same efficiency out of it, you know, that kind of thing. So it's a great little all-rounder. It's not bad in space. This one now has the 5-door. The previous one only had the 3-door. So the 5-door makes a huge difference just for getting things in and out the back, really. Absolutely ideal situation with this car. Beyond that, this car doesn't have some of the little gadgets that the courtesy car had. The courtesy car had parking sensors, and it had cruise control. So this doesn't have that. But to be fair, I'm not really missing it. You don't really need parking sensors in a car this size. You can get away without them. But yeah, it's as far as I'm concerned, a very good car, and the dealership done me a really good deal, if you like. They sort of sorted me out with what I thought was a fair deal. They didn't charge me extra for the paint, because this car came with black pearlescent paint, which would normally be nearly £600, but I didn't specify the paint. It was just that was the only cars that they had in stock, and they were good enough to sort of acknowledge that if I wasn't specifying an option, then I shouldn't really have to pay for it, which is really good actually. And like I say, I couldn't actually be I don't want to be evangelical about the car dealership that I used, because I mean, I'm sure, like everything, car dealerships want to get their pound of flesh out of you. They are there to make money at the end of the day, but I just felt that I went in quite sort of hard-faced, quite hard-nosed. I was like, I want this car, I want to pay this price, I want it as soon as you've got it, and if you can't give me a courtesy car for free in the short term, I'll just walk away from the deal. You know, I kind of threw a whole bunch of, demands at them, and they met those demands, because I feel like they just wanted to create a good customer experience. You know, they wanted to sort of start me on a journey of brand loyalty or something like that with them, because I mean, ultimately you need to trust your car dealership, you know, and I think that's what they're trying to do, you know, establish a little bit of trust there, establish a little bit of a reputation for being fair. So yeah, to summarise, this is a good, fun little car to drive, and doesn't feel ridiculous or piddly for someone like me that's come from a reasonably high performance car. I mean, you might find that I'm going to probably get a bit of stick in the comments. People will say, BRS isn't high performance. That's an S3's high performance car, you know that, or an RS3's high performance car. In terms of the bog standard, though, a Fabia VRS is sort of beyond what most people are used to driving, and so yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm used to something that has 180 horsepower and basically flies away off the line. So to sort of step down to this hasn't felt like a massive climb down, even though I think if I'd had the lower powered version, it would have. Again, I'm just passing someone on this back road because people just do 50 miles an hour, and that's fine, but a back road national speed limit is 60 miles an hour. Like, just, I don't know if I don't know if people get mixed up with speed limits. I don't know if people think it's 50. But there's a little bit of driver education for you. Back road national speed limit, if you're driving a car, is 60 miles an hour, not 50 miles an hour. And if you're on the dual carriageway, it's 70 miles an hour, not 60 miles an hour. So yeah, just bear that in mind, because I think people still, for whatever reason, get that mixed up. But yeah, the summary is, this is a good little car. I would firmly recommend it. I would recommend it over the Seat and the Skoda variants, you know, the Citigo and the Mai or the Mi, because this is the only variant of those three sort of brands that are on this platform that has the 90 horsepower engine. And my genuine sort of feeling on it is that the 60 and the 75 just doesn't have the guts that it needs to have to make you feel safe and secure when you're trying to sort of merge into traffic or overtake things, you know. This just has enough power to be nice and safe, and probably pretty handy for young drivers. I mean, this is still the Beats edition, so this still has a really cool sound system, and I do enjoy my music. I especially enjoy sort of like Biffy Clyro, Twin Atlantic, and that sort of ilk of music, you know, Susio Pero. I mean, they're sort of underrated, but they exist, and they're really good. And if you get the chance to listen to Susio Pero, they're definitely a sort of undiscovered gem. Anyway, that's totally aside from the fact that this is a good little car, and I don't know, if I was going to rate it out of 10, I'd give it 9 or something like that, you know. But I did say I would do this review of this car, and here it is. Please, like, if you've got any questions, like, just leave it in the comments. I mean, if you're wondering about, like, what was the deal that I got, like, how did I come to get that deal, how was I able to get quotes from down south, that kind of thing, just ask me in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer those or provide links, that kind of thing. If you're just curious about something like how the boot space is or something like that, and you'd want me to do a more in-depth video about sort of practicality and usability, I could do that as well. Again, leave it in the comments. I might actually review some other cars, because this isn't the only car I have access to, or I might do a quick video just sort of summarising good and bad points about some of the other cars that I've driven, which are various. I've had a Polo, I've had a Golf, I've had a Focus, I've had a Corsa, I've had a Mini, I've had an older Mini and a newer Mini, not the old retro Mini though, just an older one. I've driven Kia Picanto, the smart car. You know, I've driven a fair few cars, or had a shot of or a loan of a fair few cars. Unfortunately, I've not sort of tried every performance hot hatch there is out there. You know, like, it would be great if I could do a video like about what is the best hot hatch, like test driving Focus RS and things like that. I mean, if Ford want to get in touch with me and offer me a shot of a Focus RS to review, then by all means do that, but I can't see it happening, because I'm not in any way up there in the ranks of sort of car journalism. But certainly I'm into my cars. I know a few bits and bobs about cars. I'm kind of downgraded at the moment. I just can't afford to insure anything beyond what I have at the moment. But in a year or two, I'll look to trade this in against a Polo GTI, or maybe the Up GTI, depending on my circumstances at the time. Things are just up in the air just now. I just want to get a year or two clear with some no claims and not have any more accidents. Even though only one accident that I've had in the last couple of years, even though I've had 4 of them, only one of them was even potentially my fault. That's still disputed. It still puts your insurance up, so there's a top tip. You maybe didn't know that. Your insurance still goes up even if you're a non-fault claim. The insurance refer to it as rating factors. I don't fully understand it, but if someone fully understands that, they can write that in the comments as well. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here because I'm rambling a bit. Like, share, subscribe. It's a great little car.